Duong Nin, over here, Nam Chin's sister silently exclaimed. She's so pretty. They're the ones on your date, right? The two girls walked up to the male lead and spoke reproachfully. Why did you just come now? Nam Chin just laughed. Sorry. Then a girl saw someone walking next to Nam Chin and said, who is he? Isn't he my little love? Nam Chin's sister leaned close and Nam Chin said, you don't have to care. People with bright eyes and pretty eyes will know right away. The whole girl secretly thought, who is this girl? Why is she so impatient? Male lead Duong Nin was walking with his sister Duong Kai-vi on campus when they met two great beauties. The two misunderstood that she was Nam Chin's lover and Nam Chin sighed and explained. This is my sister, she just arrived in Nam Ho not long ago. Duong Kai-vi was also a bit rude because she didn't like her two sisters and called her brother's friend. He politely explained. Normally, he was very polite. I don't know if he ate something wrong today. She sadly grabbed her brother's sleeve and replied, you just ate it by mistake. Suddenly one of the two girls came forward to shake hands and introduce herself. Hello, I'm Tu Noan. I'm your brother's classmate. I just transferred to his class not long ago. After a few seconds of silence, my sister also gave in and shook hands. My name is Duong Kai-vi. Seeing that, the other girl also approached to greet her. And my name is Chao Tae. I was just joking, don't be angry. Duong Kai-vi replied briefly, not angry. She replied that she wasn't angry but seemed to still care, who was teasing her. Everyone continued walking. Duong Nin and Tu Noan went first together. Duong Kai-vi went in the middle and Chao Tae went last. Noan said to Duong Nin, when Vin heard that you came to visit, she was very happy. Duong Nin was quite surprised. She knew me. What does a 3-year-old girl know? Duong Kai-vi looked at his brother and his sister, who were tossing and turning back and forth, talking happily, and felt uncomfortable inside, as tangled as a shell. After that, it felt like my favorite doll was taken away by someone else. She angrily clenched her fists and approached to pat Duong Nin and Tu Noan on the shoulders. She said excitedly, what are you two talking about? I also want to hear it. They were extremely surprised by Duong Kai-vi's actions. Then she gently stepped in the middle and pulled Noan ahead, leaving the male lead behind not knowing what to say. Duong Kai-vi leisurely said to Tu Noan, let's talk while walking. As soon as the male lead looked, he realized that this was definitely her intention. Chao Tae saw the opportunity for the male lead to go alone and quickly approached. She seemed shy when standing near Duong Nin. After a while, she asked the male lead, Senior, is this really your sister? He responded to Chao Tae's question, she's a younger sister, but not related by blood. We grew up together since childhood, and are even closer to me than our biological sisters. He remembered the image of the whole family wanting to hug and hold Duong Kai-vi but felt a bit nostalgic and not very willing. Haha. The whole family pampered her and he was like standing next to her as a showpiece. Hearing him say that made Chao Tae laugh. My goodness, the beauty's smile is truly beautiful. Duong Kai-vi's face became unhappy after seeing this scene. She immediately glanced at Duong Nin until she caught fire. It's true that you should avoid melon skin meeting melon skin. The scene changes to everyone going to the hospital, where they visit a 3-year-old girl named Vin. Vin, quickly call me. Have you forgotten what your mother taught you? Hearing that, she happily reached out to ask Duong Nin for a hug and then spoke in a cooing voice to him. Brother, good morning. He also happily reached out to hug Vin. Hello, I heard you taught very early, right? Duong Kai-vi, Tu Noan and Chao Tae all looked at the two of them very closely, just like they were family. Suddenly the girl's face changed. She seemed uncomfortable, frowned, put her hands on her chest, and her voice was broken. I hug. Duong Nin suddenly looked at the girl and asked worriedly. Vin, what's wrong? Are you unwell? The girl frowned but tried to answer him. Thank you. Her mother seemed to have noticed her daughter's abnormality and immediately became frightened and nervously called out. Doctor, come here quickly. The patient's family and several patients nearby saw Vin's strange expression and asked in surprise. What's wrong with that baby? Where is the doctor? What's wrong? As soon as they heard the call, doctors and nurses quickly arrived. They were extremely worried about Veen Veen's health. The doctor urgently asked everyone, what happened? Then he helped her lie down, brought the stethoscope up to check, and told everyone to be there. Everyone spread out, don't concentrate in one place and make it difficult for the patient to breathe. Little Veen Veen seems to have stabilized again. Everyone was worried but also breathed a sigh of relief after the doctor examined Veen Veen. Misla stood next to her, looking extremely tense, asking the doctor. The girl was fine, just a mild fever, anemia, rapid heartbeat, and dizziness were unusual symptoms. Then the doctor placed his hand on Veen Veen's forehead and said, let the patient rest. Everyone around heard that and breathed a sigh of relief. Thank God, it's good that you're okay. Seeing that, the male lead spoke up. Misla, I think it's better to take Veen Veen to a separate hospital room. Everyone around also agreed. That's right, Veen Veen needs a quiet place to rest. Misla replied with a sad face. The price of a private room is too high, nearly 500 yuan a month for about 10,000 aunts and uncles Luong. Hearing this difficult problem of Ms. Let me arrange a hospital bed, or do I have someone I know here to see if I can get a free hospital room? Then the two main male brothers went out into the hallway and the younger sister spoke. I don't know if you have someone at the hospital or something. Of course it's to trick Misla. Why do you still say that? If you say let me spend money, Misla will definitely not agree. If she says it's free, at least they will feel more secure in their hearts. Hearing that, her younger sister was extremely surprised. Wow, you have a cute side too. What do you think your brother is? This separate hospital room is more spacious than 60 square meters divided into 3 main rooms, living room and kitchen. Everyone stood by the male lead Veen Veen's bed and asked, is Yuan Yuan still upset? Baby Veen Veen replied, it's uncomfortable but I can still endure it. Why does it have to be like that? Every time Veen Veen cried, her mother would cry again. Veen felt very uncomfortable and didn't want her mother to come home, which made her even more uncomfortable. Everyone around was surprised by this answer from the little girl. The baby's mother was standing behind her with tears streaming down. Then Misla turned around and walked out into the hallway to continue crying. In the hospital room, the male lead was still attentively taking care of the little girl when suddenly the little girl spoke up. You guys are sleepy. If you're sleepy, just go to sleep. The male lead calmly looked at the child with anxiety in his heart. Is there anything that can cure leukemia? Even if it slows down the onset of the disease, I must find something to save her. Then the male protagonist searched the systems store and discovered some kind of medicine. This medicine is suitable for children under 6 years old and the father rarely uses it continuously for a month. But after use, there will be a very strong resistance to this drug. It can be said that it cannot reach that area, which is considered a disadvantage. Never mind, at least now we can save Veen Veen. Moreover, I only need 500 accumulated points to pay. The male lead clicked on the medicine while thinking. Even if they can trick them into giving her one dose, they can't interrupt the process of continuously drinking it for a month. What should she do? This difficult problem made the male lead feel helpless. So what should I do now? On the way home I kept thinking. And how can you give a little girl medicine every day and still make everyone believe in following her? Seeing her brother keep thinking intently along the way, the male lead's sister spoke up. He was thinking like that the whole way, like a lost soul. Hey, I said if there is something you want someone else to receive but don't want the other person to find out, what method should you use? When Duong Nin asked her friend who was visiting her sister's hospital why she was taking medicine without letting others know, she suddenly thought that he wanted to poison someone. Duong Nin also didn't know what she was thinking all day. Unexpectedly, she was suggesting a good way for him. She heard him talk about his feelings about poisoning others and she also knew those things. Unexpectedly, he heard her suggestion, so he immediately came up with the idea for poisoning. Duong Nin still thought wisely that he had always found another way to get his sister Veen Veen to take medicine but did not think of another way to carry out this motive. At Duong Nin's house, his eldest uncle Nin Tai then asked him why he was taken to the police station without informing him. He said he didn't consider him an uncle but an outsider. A relative in the house also responded. If it wasn't for his homeroom teacher, the whole family probably wouldn't have known. Duong Nin was also enlightened when the two boys were teaching him. Indeed, his two uncles were instructing him on how to tell everyone no matter what happened. The sister next door told me that he was extremely cool at the hospital. His mother was moved to know that it was her son who helped the teacher's daughter solve the problem of disease prevention. She was very happy when he did something very good and kind. At that dinner table, almost everyone was proud of him. The sky begins to shine with stars and the queen of the night sky is crowned. I called Uncle Luke tonight so I don't have to go to the restaurant anymore and invited him to come over for dinner because my mother cooks very deliciously. Duong Nin's family only has his mother and his younger brother. He told him not to be polite. Luke Kwok Huan also agreed to come in the evening and even asked along to drive over. Along with that, Duong Nin asked him to help him stew a bowl of chicken soup every day until it was empty. He did not hesitate to help him. He asked you to drink? He said that the chicken stew was given to Veen Veen's sister who was suffering from leukemia. He intended to help him take him to the hospital but had his own ideas. He said he didn't need to bring it. He himself wanted to go and see Veen Veen every day. Then he greeted him and turned off the phone himself. Duong Nin was extremely comfortable doing exactly what he set out to do, which was to save Veen Veen. He told himself that he had to bring it himself to feel secure. He implicitly guessed that even if he drank it into the soup, even the devil wouldn't know. Just as planned, the next day Luke Kwok Huan went to Duong Nin's house. Nin Tai Then and one of his brothers came to welcome him. The three of them shook hands with each other. Luke Kwok Huan bothered the two of them so much because they wholeheartedly came to the door to welcome them. He also realized that Duong Nin's uncle was Tan Si Yuna's boss Nin. He said that he went there yesterday to drink tea and was a regular customer of the tea shop. The generosity and friendliness of the three of them made the atmosphere more exciting than ever. Owner Nin was very grateful to Luke Kwok Huan for taking care of the store and also guaranteed that the director would give him a black diamond membership card that allowed him to make appointments at will and free all goods. Duong Nin's mother was extremely happy to welcome the three guests to her house. Knowing that Luke Kwok Huan often listened to Duong Nin's reminders and also cared about him, he happily responded to her very politely. He also suddenly thought that Duong Nin was indeed the crown prince who wanted wind and rain and rain. In that kitchen, there were two girls washing dishes. Duong Nin and Vivi's mother both wear gloves to wash dishes. Duong Nin's mother was even more meticulous when she wore an apron. She asked Vivi if she had fun today. Vivi tried to hide her feelings so she replied softly. Duong Nin's mother looked at Vivi and knew there was something going on that made her unhappy and asked, but she kept denying it. She knew that Vivi did not know how to lie since childhood, so she asked again what happened and did Duong Nin bully her. Duong Nin never bullied Vivi and was even kind to her. I'm sad because I'm jealous that he met two girls more beautiful than me at the hospital. Duong Nin's mother was equally surprised to learn that her son knew two beautiful girls. She doesn't understand why her son has such a relationship with a girl. Vivi was still upset and said that he was in the same class as someone 1 year younger than him, so he often called him the school leader. Looking very close, Duong Nin's mother thought to herself that her son started having a girlfriend without telling his mother. It's better for her to quietly not interfere in the children's affairs, so it's better to let them have their private space to slowly develop. She told Vivi to wash the dishes quickly and after finishing washing, the two of them went out so that the guests could not see that we were not attentive. She also replied yes, another space for young men. Nin Ta then poured hot water for the three people in the room. Boss Nin asked Duong Nin when he knew how to play with antiques and asked him to see if this thing was valuable. He also considered the details. All thanks to the system giving him new knowledge that surprised everyone. He discovered that this was a shady blue water coffin item. The statue is a faint image of Buddha sitting on a flower like a water lily, closing her eyes and clasping her hands to support a vase. The green light shows how valuable the item is. The system told him this was an item of excellent quality. Evaluation shows that the collectible carved from jade appeared from a prestigious family at the end of the Common Era, more than 200 years ago to be exact. There is certain upside space and the value is about 21,484 Chinese yuan. He read the system for everyone to hear. All were overwhelmed by his erudition. Boss Nin gasped when he said everything without missing a beat. He also asked how much money this thing was worth. Duong Nin replied that this item's market value was about 500,000, but if it was auctioned it could increase by 200,000. He was extremely surprised when he bought it at a cheap price at a charity auction for 18,000. Having said that, he told me to take him to more places to expand his horizons. Nin Ta then said with relief that he said he had to participate in an antique appraisal competition after college. Luke Kwok Huan happily invites everyone to participate if they are interested. Just in time, Duong Nin's mother and Vivi brought watermelon for dessert. She was curious as to what they were talking about as they looked so happy. Boss Nin did not hesitate to say that he was talking about her beloved son. He also did not expect that Duong Nin was so talented that he played antiques and had more money than her. She is proud of her little baby. Nin Ta then also talked about antiques. When we were young, our father often brought copper coins and said they were the most valuable things in the house. Duong Nin's uncle next door remembered how when he was a child he stole that coin and hid it, and he didn't expect that in a flash 20 years had passed. Then everyone went to the storage room. Boss Nin looked for coins from 20 years earlier. He found it and opened it for everyone to see. Everyone's eyes and mouths were incredibly surprised when they learned that the coin was actually a royal treasure. Amazed by the Hoang Tong Tong Bao bronze on the facade with a benevolent message, so extremely rare and worth over 10,000. Sure enough, the remaining 3 adults admitted that we were not wrong that year. He then assigned Duong Nin's mother, Kwok Nok, to bring this coin home and heard that Duong Nin's grandfather liked this coin very much. She was also afraid that this was her father's relic, so she was worried that it wouldn't be good. Nin Ta then smiled and said that based on Kwok Huan and his fortune, no one would regret this money. The uncle next to him also smiled and replied that if it weren't for suddenly remembering today, he might have really forgotten the existence of this coin. She happily received the valuable souvenir. Vivi innocently asked how much money was 10,000. Luke Kwok Huan teased her and told Duong Nin to withdraw a check for 1 million to leave at home. Didn't she already know? She was curious and asked him to take it out for her to see what it was like. Duong Nin helplessly told her to give up that idea. After that day, the atmosphere became bustling. Everyone laughed at the funny image of Duong Nin and Vivi. The next day at the school that Duong Nin was studying, he was reading a book and thinking about the upcoming exam. No one has time to care about other things, so his time in high school with his friends is about to end. Suddenly, Chao Tiu Fai said he was his sister. Vivi said she would introduce him to a girlfriend. He completely didn't know what to say in front of his stupid sister. Powerless right now, only Chao Tiu Fai is carefree. Then he looked out the window at the distant blue sky. Thinking that Nam Ho City would restore order, Ta Kban would also perish. The Ta family's property was also greatly eroded. Chao Din Lok was tricked by Waku's subordinates. Luke Kwok Huan stood and watched the fun. He just started to reflect on his peaceful life, going back to school, coming home, then returning home to school. After finishing studying, Duong Nin brought the stew to the hospital for Veen Veen. The little girl excitedly said, "You are the soup." He happily replied that this was the soup he cooked, so Veen Veen found it delicious. "So from now on, I'll bring it to you every day." He was also happy when the recovery medicine VH36 worked. Ms. She teased that this child did not drink the soup his grandmother cooked, but only liked the soup Duong Nin brought. Little girl Veen Veen obediently ate the entire bowl of soup. He also showed off to him that his soup had a sweet taste, so the baby enjoyed drinking it and was no longer sleepy or in pain. Duong Nin was very satisfied and patted Veen Veen's head, thinking that everyone said that children's feelings are more sensitive than adults, so she felt the effects he brought. Misla was indescribably happy to see her little child so lucky to meet Duong Nin. Whatever has happened has happened. University entrance exam officially begins. In the quiet room, only the sound of a ballpoint pen scribbling on exam paper could be heard. Everyone is highly focused on achieving the best results. He was relieved to sleep on the table to finish his homework. An invigilator saw him sleeping and asked, but Mr. Chow stopped him. As long as it didn't affect the exam room, he was fine. But while he slept, Duong Nin tried to access the opportunity system to see if he had 110 points so he could exchange it for something. Suddenly there was a system frame showing him another interesting item. It is the brainwave sound transmission gum. Brainwave sound transmission gum is a sound transmission tool, divided into north and south poles. Wait, I know what this thing is actually used for. The next day, the class bell rang and Chao Tiu Fai sighed. Duong Nin immediately came to ask, "What's going on?" looking so gloomy like he lost a lot of rice. "Just the exam results are not very good. How can I get to the capital to meet her?" He immediately thought that the girl had actually introduced him to her. Recently, calling her a video wasn't bad. "I see there is no hope anymore." Duong Nin immediately scratched his cheek. "I can't help you with flirting, but I can help you with other things." He immediately gave Tiu Fai a bag of gum. "This is a sound transfer device." Tiu Fai asked suspiciously, "How is this thing used?" "You just need to put half in your mouth and chew until then I will give you the answer." "This thing can be chewed?" Tiu Fai doubted. "Anyway, you are right to believe me." Looking at Duong Nin's face, the words prestige seemed to appear. During the math exam, all the students were attentively writing. Meanwhile, Tiu Fai is tidying up the pencil and it's done. Shouting loudly to submit the assignment made the whole class gasp in amazement. "Teacher, I'll go first." He proudly opened the door and walked out of the exam room. Shouting loudly is too much, but speaking too loudly causes the supervisor to scold him. The classmates over there were quiet for a bit, while Duong Nin in class was still leisurely writing. Scene change. At the park, little girl Veen Veen immediately pointed at the float house and said, "That's what Veen Veen wants to play," Duong Nin said gently. "Go ahead, be careful." The little girl immediately ran to play with the inflatable house and had a lot of fun. Duong Nin and the girl accompanying her were looking intently. A lady passing by said, "Your child is so adorable that it makes you both panic. I'm still a student, but you're not our child, we're still high school students. I see two beautiful people who are still young. Bringing children here seems like I saw wrong and I'm sorry." Her aunt's words made both her and her face turn red. She suddenly said that. Duong Nin thought he heard wrong so he asked again, "Ha?" with an incomprehensible expression. Then he still asked that question, "I want to ask you, what do you keep asking?" She said, her face turned red. "That's it. Just saying that doesn't make any sense." Suddenly there was a voice calling, "Oh my gosh, are you guys here to buy ice cream?" "Here, take it, polite girl." Thank you. Veen Veen has run off to play at the cottage. That's good. With this condition, it seems Veen Veen can be discharged from the hospital. She can go back to kindergarten. Veen Veen is so smart, we can send her to school too. Both husband and wife showed a picture of their child playing happily. You see, there are many 14 and 15-year-old kids who have entered Yuan University in our family and definitely can do it too. Duong Nin, you see that right? Duong Nin looked disapproving and said, "In my opinion, Veen Veen should have a carefree childhood. After all, childhood is priceless." As soon as he finished speaking, he said goodbye to the girl and her family. The girl who was accompanying me finally spoke. "Duong Nin, I wanted to ask you earlier, which school are you planning to apply to?" "That's all there is to it, but it has to stay that way." Duong Nin also paid attention to the question. "Not sure, I'm a bit headed for Wadai." "Really, that's great. My friend is so happy," Ms. Lean thought. "I don't wait, I'm not afraid of not getting into Wadai. At least I have to get into Gaodai. As long as it's all in Wahai. Wait, I have to take care of this." Her face turned red and she suddenly realized what she was thinking. "Why do you care where he will study?" Many days later in the hospital, I was finally discharged and I was so happy. Duong Nin also came. "Miss Lahir congratulates you on your discharge from the hospital." "Thank you, I've bothered you too to pick you up." "There's nothing complicated, but I'm free anyway." Boss Luke said Duong needed to use the car so he came here together. "Everyone get in the car, he looks very familiar. Have you worked in the antique street?" "That's right, I originally worked for the shop's owner, Tran, to borrow money from Tan Tai. But because of his daughter's problems, his working hours were unstable so he was laid off." As he spoke, he scratched his head, but Boss Tran is a good person. Knowing that my family was in trouble, he not only gave me an extra month's salary, but also gave me an extra 800 yuan, that's right. Young Duong, do you remember that the place where you fainted was Ms. Lam's shop? Duong Nin is very supportive of this. Her husband immediately said of course he wants it. Lam Manhuyan is trimming wings and cutting leaves and calling Duong Nin. The exam is over, right? The antique inspection competition is about to start. Lam T has registered to help you. When did you get here? You are also trimming the wings and cutting the leaves. When is the competition time? Starting from the 29th of this month. The first 3 days are the exchange session and the 4th day begins the assessment. I was about to finish filling out the application before leaving. His words made the girl trimming the leaves freeze. It's been a long time since I've seen her, but I miss her so much. There's Dong Dong and concubine Dong Fuang. This guy's head was full of images of goddesses. He had to shake his head to regain consciousness. It's not right, it's not right. How can I miss so many people? I'm very pure, so it's not the time to think about these things. Having finished speaking, he placed the scissors on the table. After the exam, Veen Veen was discharged from the hospital. His uncle, mother and sister all left. Next, yes, there is the matter of repairing the road for Lao Chao's village. The scene changes to a girl wearing a bear costume, the sound of clicking buttons continuously. The mother asked, "Are there any results yet?" "Yes, the literature test this time is so boring. A total score of 689 is fine. This score can completely enter the capital. Quickly go upstairs and tell grandpa the results." The little girl immediately stopped her mother. "Wait, I'll look up your results. Last week I got the exam code and password." Mom wondered. "Why are you investigating? I don't know what my son is like. I can only touch his hair and sigh." The little girl called out in panic. Her mother told her to look away. "There's nothing wrong with your points." Mom was about to leave but turned around and asked why. Looking at the scores, both mother and sister were panicked. "Mom, go call grandpa. He'll let you call your dad." Literature 129 points. Math 138 points. Foreign language 136 points. Natural subjects 279 points. Total score 678. Not knowing how many points Duong Nin got, thinking so, he immediately called Duong Nin. "How many points did I get?" Duong Nin is pouring tea. He replied, "I haven't looked it up yet. Could you help me look it up? I'll send you the code." He turned to continue the discussion. This time, the boss spoke up and asked to prepare the Lu Jia Bridge dirt road into a concrete road connecting north and south, planning to make this road twice as wide, not knowing the location of the village commissioner. The village commissioner smiled brightly. "No problem, rest assured. No one has any opinion on this matter. The same goes for the way to consume agricultural products in the future. We will help you solve it." The village chief shook his hand with joy and tears. "You guys are truly good people." Uncle held Duong's hand in gratitude. "Don't be rude, being able to help everyone is good." "What happened to Duong Thien Tu?" Duong Nin's father asked curiously. When Duong Thien Tu's father saw him coming home, he also came out to call. Mr. Duong looked at the computer screen and said in a deep voice that you should see for yourself. After looking at the screen, Duong's father did not ask. He was happy. When Duong Thien Tu heard his father ask, he helplessly pointed his finger and told him to look carefully to see whose name it was. Duong's father looked for a while, then in surprise called Duong Nin, "Son." "It's the boy, not the same name," the gray-haired woman said smilingly. Duong's father also couldn't believe it and turned to look at Mr. Duong suspiciously and asked him. Mr. Duong and his granddaughter stood up and shook their heads to dismiss their son's doubts, saying that his father had not done anything and could not have faked his scores, especially these strange scores. The teachers were all extremely surprised and said that this poinsettia had the highest score in history. The homeroom teachers also quickly received the news and used this achievement as an example to spread to their students. Their senior Duong Nin received perfect scores in all subjects. Not the poinsettia of one subject but the poinsettia of the entire country. You guys have to try too. The students below also admired and thought that the senior was really good. Turns out he was that good at studying. The office is now a mess. A teacher came to announce that the TV station wanted to interview Duong Nin. The homeroom teacher also frowned and said to call her to let her know. So when I went to her house to find her, I didn't know the address, so I asked the homeroom teacher to come and stand up quickly. Teacher Chow also quickly ran away and said I would go ask right away. Teacher Chow asked Duong Nin's house address in the class group. Did anyone know if anyone in the class talked about whether anyone had ever come to his house? It seems like even Little Africa has never been heard of by anyone. After speaking, a person very close to Duong Nin appeared in their minds and said in unison to ask Tu Vien Vien. At this time, Tu Vien Vien was sitting in her villa, also checking scores. When she heard Duong Nin's score, she was startled and exclaimed Duong Nin back. At that moment, the phone rang with a message. It was a message from her classmates asking her. The message said, "Is Vien Vien here? Tu Vien Vien, do you know the address of Duong Nin's house?" Surely he knows that the two of them are a couple. Tu Vien Vien was also startled and said he didn't know, so don't talk nonsense. She also wondered who else might know his house. Aunt Duong Nin got perfect scores in all subjects. Miss La, who was at home playing with her children, was also happy to hear this news from Tu Vien Vien. Ms. La smiled and replied, "My family is from Manjiang Nguyen." "Really, that's great, thank you," Ms. La. Tu Vien Vien said. Ms. La is also enthusiastic to help. "It's okay to ask Uncle Luong to take me there." Tu Vien Vien quickly texted his class group to know where Duong Nin's house was, and now I would go there to find him. The whole class group quickly started shouting, "Wow, Tu Vien Vien knew. He hasn't come back yet, so it's useless for me to go in." By this time, Duong Nin came back and was wondering, "Tu Vien Vien, why are you here?" She heard Nam Chin's voice and immediately turned around happily. Duong Nin, the security guard behind him, said, "I told you he's not here." But Tu Vien Vien didn't care and only paid attention to Nam Chin. "Why is your phone turned off all the time? So many people are looking for you." Nam Chin raised his phone and shook it to reply, "It's because I know that many people will be looking for me that I turned off the phone." Then he took her in. "Let's go in." The security guard behind saw this and shouted loudly with excitement, "Young Master Duong, next time your girlfriend comes, I will definitely bring it to your house." Hearing that, Nam Chin laughed happily and waved his hands while Vien Vien shyly puffed his cheeks. At Thien Dai, Vong Tried Choyan was holding a bottle of wine and gulping it down. "I'm not satisfied," he angrily said through gritted teeth with a gloomy expression. "Now there's all his news on the internet. As for me, I only have news about transferring schools." Then he shouted loudly with eyes full of hatred. He threw the wine bottle. "It's all your fault. Duong Nin, if it wasn't you, I won't be like this either." At this time, a phone number called. He picked up the phone and said, "Dad, yes, I've thought about it carefully. I want to go abroad." Hanging up, he gritted his teeth with a gloomy expression of determination. "I will definitely come back. Absolutely." At this time, Nam Chin invited Tu Vien into the house. "Come in, it's a bit simple, I'll make you laugh." Hearing Nam Chin say that, she could only gasp and then bent down to think. If this is called sketchy, then our house is a dog's nest. At this time, Nam Chin also gave her a glass of water. "Drink it." She took the glass of water and didn't forget to ask again, "Why did you have to turn off the phone? Teacher Chow couldn't find you either." Nam Chin also asked suspiciously, "Why did he look for me?" She replied, "Says the TV station wants to report on you. You guys admire you so much." After listening, the male lead just sat down on the chair, crossed his arms over his head and said leisurely, "Then let them admire it. Whoever wants to go can go. I'm not greedy." She heard that and asked again, "Why? Don't you want a chance to be famous?" Then Nam Chin put his phone in front of her and said, "You haven't been online lately. Let's open a website." She immediately picked up her phone and looked at the news. It read, "#1 contestant in college entrance exam history." Seeing that she had read the news, Nam Chin also shrugged and said, "So I don't want to become more famous." The back of her head is also full of dots. Then Nam Chin turned back and asked her, "That's right. You didn't reveal your home address to others, did you?" She smiled and replied, "No, I just said in the group that I know where your house is. Then the two sat down to talk. Nam Chin said, then turn off your phone to avoid trouble. Not everyone wants to find me because they admire and want to congratulate me. She also replied, I know, I'll turn it off. At this time, Veen Veen looked at the phone and suddenly exclaimed, oh, look, it's Chow Tiu Fai. Nam Chin also panicked and picked up the phone to see. What? He suddenly gasped, this damn kid. No one looked at him without saying anything. Vivi lay on the chair and called him. Do you know how surprised my parents are? But my parents are very happy, Duong Nin replied in a matter-of-fact way. You guessed it, no one burst out eating and told him to, let's eat. Vivi heard his daughter ask him, are you taking your daughter home? Duong Nin scratched his face and said there was no such thing. I was just watching a movie. Then no one called Duong Nin's name. Let's eat, what are you doing, made him speechless. The phone emitted Vivi's loud voice, even pretending she was watching a movie. Apparently she called his name, then Vivi hung up. Dad came out and asked her what was wrong. She had just called a Nin and it was like this. Is that rotten brat bullying you? She answered with a sad voice. Her mother asked Vivi worriedly. Don't lie to me, there's definitely something wrong. What's wrong with you? Vivi looked like she was about to cry and then jumped into her mother's arms and cried loudly. Her father next to her advised Vivi. Do not cry. Her husband was outside looking at her crying and was angry. Her father angrily picked up the phone and yelled at this kid for betraying him. You have to ask him what he did in the end. He picked up the phone and called him loudly, Duong Nin, this kid. But he suddenly paused and then changed his tone to a softer tone. Hello, is that so? Oh okay, then he hung up. Then he smiled and turned around to ask Duong's mother if she guessed who the person who had just received the phone call was. She asked who it was. He was outside and heard Duong's father say it was a little girl. Duong's mother laughed, is that so? Duong's father was surprised. Why aren't you surprised at all? It's a girl, she said my son went to take a bath, she cooked dinner for him. Duong's mother told him about this trip to Nam Ho. I already knew. I just didn't expect the progress to be a bit fast. Duong's father put his hand on Duong's mother's shoulder and smiled at me. Nothing can escape the palm of my hand. He was thinking that it must be the girl named Tu Veen Veen. Then he made a phone call to advise. Send me documents about Tu Du Bok and his daughter. 1 copy for each person. At school, Duong Nin, someone called. Duong Nin turned around to look. Teacher Chow. Teacher Chow smiled. That kid. Where have you been hiding these past few days? Wait until the day comes to fill out your wish to appear. Have you thought about which school to choose yet? Duong Nin scratched his head and replied calmly. Which school? Suddenly a group of people shouted loudly. He was here, startling Duong Nin. Those people spoke excitedly. Classmate Duong Nin. Wait for us. Teacher Chow leaned into Duong Nin's ear and whispered. Those people seem to be the admission team of the universities. Those people came running. One by one, they invited each other. Classmate Duong Nin, Tan Tri University welcomes you very much. Someone intervened, our Yen Sun University is the best choice. Some people say, our school is right for you. When Duong Nin didn't know what to do, at this moment another person came. Classmate Duong Nin, I am the person in charge of admissions at the University of Hong Kong. My name is Chi Kai Duong. Chi Kai Duong made an extremely attractive proposal. Our university agreed to give you a scholarship worth 200,000. Within 3 years, we will provide you with living expenses at the rate of 150,000 per month. The people around them gasped when they heard that. Chi Kai Duong continued, we are having a plan to train elites. If you agree to join our school, then this year's training plan will only have you participating in the training. Or should we say, at this time we will only accept training for Mr. Duong Nin, surprisingly. Chi Ziyang crossed his arms and looked smugly at the people from the admission teams of other universities. Hi, what kind of competition are you guys having? True Nkiet said to Duong Nin unconvinced. Duong Nin, if you come to our school, the school agrees to accept only you. Your name will be on the list. Tu will not give up. Tan Tri University will do the same. we'll write your name on the list. List. True and Kiet and Tutu glared at each other. Dwang-nin scratched his head in confusion, not understanding what was going on. What list? As soon as Dwang-nin finished speaking, he was glared at by two people's cold eyes. One person pulled Dwang-nin's hand and went over there to talk. The rest frowned. Hey, don't go. Let Dwang-nin stay here, Teacher Chow and Tu Noan advised. Don't be hasty, everyone. Let Dwang-nin solve it himself. True and Kiet held the fan and introduced himself again. I am True and Kiet of Manhwa School, Tu also introduced. I am Tu of Tantrai University, Tu recounted. 10 years ago, there was an organization called the Hua-Sha Alliance. This organization was born because it wanted to fight other powers and strengthen and develop Hua-Sha. The members of the organization are all carefully selected British elites. The Hua-Sha Alliance has changed its name to Yanwangjiaowi. Association members include 11 leaders in fields such as finance, energy sources, engineering, IT, and medicine. Currently there is only Tantrai School. True and Kiet interrupted. Now, there is also Manhwa School, Tu corrected. Okay. Currently only Tantrai and Manhwa have the opportunity to send people every year. There is a list to join the Royal Society. But Manhwa is just a list of members and cannot guarantee that 100% of the people on that list will be selected to join the organization. True and Kiet frowned. You still dare to say that? In our side, good or bad, there will be a Hao Van Phi joining. You guys have failed for 3 years in a row. Chi Kai Duang came to interrupt. Kai Duang smiled and looked at Dwang-nin. Dwang-nin, have you finished thinking? The University of Hong Kong really hopes that you can join our school. Dwang-nin pondered. Hong Kong University is very sincere, but the Royal Society of the Royal Society is also not a bad choice. Well, in the end Dwang-nin decided to say, sorry sir. I have no intention of going to Hong Kong for now. My parents don't feel comfortable letting me study so far away from home. Thank you very much, teachers, for taking me seriously. But before I came here, I had already chosen the university I wanted. All three of you were surprised to hear Dwang-nin say that. Where did you choose? As soon as Dwang-nin finished speaking, he was glared at by two people's cold eyes. In the end, which university do you want to choose? Dwang-nin confusedly replied, Hua-Sha University. It's like a slap in the face. The three people gasped, Hua-Sha University, that's great. A cheerful voice rang out. The girl turned to look at the blue-haired teacher. Dwang-nin chose our school. After speaking, the girl approached Dwang-nin. Hello, Dwang-nin. The girl held out her hand. My name is Luke YY. I am the vice president of the student council of Hua-Sha University. Juniors can choose our school, which is truly the best thing today. Other girls also approached. This handsome junior wants to come to our school. The girl next to her also asked, do you have a girlfriend? What kind of books do you usually read? The juniors are blushing. Dwang-nin blushed flustered, but inside she was excited. Ah, so many beautiful people. Waha is truly my best choice. Suddenly someone called, Ms. Ta. Ms. Ta turned around to look. It's True and Kiet. True and Kiet frowned and criticized, this is not right. How could you bring your student here to seduce others like that? Ms. Ta smiled faintly. You and I still don't understand each other. I will use methods to seduce others. Before she waved goodbye and mysteriously said, guess what? Tu and True and Kiet were helpless. What kind of guess? Luke YY called Dwang-nin. Junior, let's quickly register. After we're done, you'll take us on a tour of Nam Ho. There's a girl with a charming face looking at you. That's right, we can go swimming. Sunbathing. Can you help us apply sunscreen? Dwang-nin is immersed in these sweetnesses. It's okay. Hands moving on the keyboard typing. Luke YY picked up the paper and stood up. Quote. Dwang-nin, from today onwards, you are a student at Hua-Ha School. Luke YY shook hands with Dwang-nin. Dwang-nin smiled and replied. Thank you. Ms. Ta spoke up standing next to me. That's right, classmate Dwang-nin. Actually, I also really want to know why you chose our school. Duong Nin, the first girl, explained. Actually, I just said that casually. I was just forced into a dead end by those three. Who knows? Then Duong Nin smiled sweetly. But her and Luke Yy's group of people didn't seem to believe this statement very much. Ms. Ta smiled wryly. Is that so? Ms. Ta thought. He probably has a reason he can't say. If he continues to ask, it won't be very good. Ms. Ta also came forward to shake hands with Duong Nin. Anyway, congratulations. Thank you, Duong Nin replied. The car went on the road, then it stopped at one place. A person stepped down from the car, Duong Nin with a bright face. Luke Kwok Huan came out to greet us, and finally our Nguyen Lang also agreed to come. Duong Nin said hello, Uncle Luke. Suddenly there was a dog barking, causing the two of them to glance in that direction. The line pointed towards Duong Nin and then gave orders to Dai Hak. The excitement is coming, Dai Hak, scare him. Dai Hak listened and barked continuously at Duong Nin. Duong Nin saw this. His sharp eyes glared at Dai Hak. In the end, Dai Hak obediently sat still. Duong touched it inexplicably. Hey, you're so cowardly. Luke Kwok Huan felt confused. This dog is very fierce. Why did he become so docile when he met Duong Nin? Duong frowned, because he is a wolf. Duong Nin was really helpless. Don't say this to me, is that okay? Luke Kwok Huan and Duong Nin walked to the door. Luke Kwok Huan told him. Go inside and sit down, then turn to talk to Dong Dong. Dong Dong, take Dai Hak to the playground. Dong Dong obediently answered, yes. As soon as he entered the door, Duong Nin gasped and blushed. On the sofa is Dong Phuong Phi Nhi, wearing only a shirt, sitting there typing on the phone. Dong Phuong Phi Nhi was surprised. Oh, it's Duong Nin, long time no see. She stood up and measured her height compared to Duong Nin. It's only been a month since we've seen her, but it seems like she's grown quite a bit. Surely it's not like he secretly ate some medicinal spirit pills or something? Duong Nin was so startled that she quickly explained. Sister Phi Nhi, what are you joking about? I don't have a medicinal spirit pill. I'm a good friend of my parents. Dong Phuong Phi Nhi of course didn't believe it, so he cut it a little. Jealousy can make you grow 10 centimeters taller in a month. Luke Kwok Huan said to Dong Phuong Phi Nhi. Dong Phuong Phi Nhi pointed at Duong Nin and said calmly, if you find this kid, you'll find it. Duong Nin has a fever. What formula? Dong Phuong Phi Nhi approached Duong Nin's people. Don't play dumb. It's the formula for that medicine. Duong Nin gasped, then quickly said, my mother said that the recipe was passed down to her daughter-in-law. Dong Phuong Phi Nhi moved closer to Duong Nin's face. Really? Duong Nin's face turned red. Really? Duong Nin suddenly realized. That's not right. This Dong Phuong Phi Nhi really likes to tease others. Don't fall into the trap. Duong Nin pushed Dong Phuong Phi Nhi away to keep a safe distance and said, Sister Phi Nhi, I'm joking. Let's talk about other conditions. Dong Phuong Phi Nhi glanced at him. Really, you missed this opportunity. Then he leaned closer to Duong Nin and asked again. Are you serious? Duong Nin blushed and replied awkwardly. Really? Dong Phuong Phi Nhi turned her head back and called out. Manhwa, come out here. This little brother has agreed to give me the recipe. Duong Nin was surprised. What? Is she also here? Lam Manhwa came out from inside and asked coldly. What? You two finished talking. Did you really agree to get married? Dong Phuong Phi Nhi frowned. Why should I marry her? She already refused. Dong Dong also looked back. This exuberant guy isn't very exuberant, right? Later, changed to calling me a stupid wolf. Manhwa looked at Duong Nin and praised him. He also has some advantages. Duong Nin was bewildered. Then I sighed. It turns out that you guys have already arranged it. If I had known earlier, I would have agreed to it. I can still take some benefits. I went back to my room first. I agreed to give you the recipe. Because of that recipe, you guys really took a risk. Lam Manhwa called out. Hey, Duong Nin. Do you know how much that formula is worth? She raised 3 fingers. If that pill can be successfully marketed in just 3 short years, That alone is enough for a company to climb to the top of the financial world. After hearing this, Duong Nin felt heartbroken. Was it worth that much? It seemed like he had lost all his capital. Well, it's not too hard anyway. Duong Nin waved goodbye to everyone. He said he would give it to you guys. Lam Manhuyan and Dong Fuang Phi Nhi couldn't believe it. Dong Fuang Phi Nhi lifted her hair and smiled. I thought it would be very difficult to convince him. Unexpectedly, she lowered her eyes. I also realized it. The feelings between people should not let too many impurities mix into it. Most is in love. Dong Fuang Phi Nhi looked at Lam Manhuyan. I don't understand, you don't understand either. But love with too many impurities inside will never last. Lam Manhuyan frowned. So what about that? Dong Fuang Phi Nhi smiled but seemed a little sad. Every step you take is the same step. At the appraisal contest, Duong Nin's eyes widened. Wow. This is the arena of the appraisal contest. Luke Kwok Huan smiled. How? No bad, right? Duong Nin remembered. My two uncles are both here. Luke Kwok Huan replied. The two of them just arrived and took my sister out. There was a Ho and Minister Lu with them. Luke Kwok Huan pointed towards a building. The appraisal competition was held there. Participants will start from the first floor to the seventh floor. Until the leader was found, Duong Nin pushed heavily. It was said that there were 700 people participating. All concentrated on one floor? Luke Kwok Huan explained. It's not that simple. You have to pass the qualifying round to be eligible to enter. Luke Kwok Huan pointed to the stalls. In these stalls there are objects belonging to the organizers. Competitors must choose antiques with symbols placed in these stalls. To do that, you need strength and luck. Some people chose more than a dozen items, but there wasn't even a symbol. Everyone is trying to find a way as soon as possible. The more items with enemy symbols you find, the more opponents you can eliminate. Duong Nin was startled. It's not like you're 2 days late. Luke Kwok Huan reassured. Don't worry, the strong guys have already started looking for it. Things are pretty good today. I just don't know if there are signs inside or not. Duong Nin clenched his fists and said confidently, yes, there is still one more day. I will definitely pass this qualifying round. The sky is now clear and sunny. Duong Nin's sister and others are walking here. Duong Nin's sister picked up a kettle and happily said, antique, definitely an antique. People around heard that and laughed. Who is this guy outside of his profession? What makes him so happy when he sees something like that? Ha ha, she was embarrassed when she heard everyone talk. Minister Lu chased him away. Go away, what does it have to do with you guys? A purple-haired guy crossed his arms and glanced at him. Oh, isn't this Lam T Day's Minister Lu? I heard that you guys invited a brat to participate in the competition. Does that count as giving up? Duong Nin's sister glared at him. What do you mean? I told him. My brother is very powerful. He chuckled. Ha ha, I don't know whether it's an antique or not. How many benefits does your brother have? She was immediately angry. Duong Nin's uncle held his nephew back. Don't pay attention to him. We left, but we didn't expect those people to block the way. Don't go yet, aren't you here to see antiques? They look and know they are not honest people. The gray-haired man was about to move forward. What do you guys want to do? Wait. Duong Nin's uncle held the gray-haired man's shoulder. Wait, the purple-haired guy sneered. What do you want to do? Kinda easy. He pointed to one place, bought all the other items, and the matter would be over. Are you crazy? Are those things worth that much? Duong Nin's uncle looked at him. I'll give you 100,000, sell it or not. Minister Lu can't stop you. Aiza, the purple-haired guy was secretly happy. Okay, I just wanted to annoy him. It's amazing to have such luck. Must raise the price. He said, 90,000. Less than not sold. Duong Nin's uncle continued to bid. I'm in a very good mood. Give him 20,000. Sell it or not. He doesn't agree. 800,000. Let that kid stay with me for the night. How? He glanced towards Duong Nin's sister. She couldn't help but feel feverish. Duong Nin's grandfather and uncle lost all patience. Then there's nothing more to say. The purple-haired guy backed away in fear. What do you want to do? Duong Nin's uncle turned back and told someone. Give it to you. The store owner angrily announced. HMPH. Pretend to be a ghost, come up to me. His two subordinates immediately jumped up. The gray-haired boy was about to rush up when a mysterious person wearing a hat rushed out first. He quickly used a jaw hook to knock down one guy. The other guy was immediately stunned by a punch. In less than a minute, the mysterious guy successfully defeated the annoying thugs. The shop owner saw this and shouted in panic. Who are you? Don't come here. He had no other choice but to scream and scold him. Where are you? Mr. Lee. There is an assault on this main road. A group of security guards quickly ran back. What's going on? Minister Liu was disdainful. Where were these guards hiding just now? Why am I only seeing your face now? The name of the security guard is powerful. Who dares to cause trouble here? Don't want to live anymore? Do you believe I brought you guys to the police station? Uncle Duang Nin replied calmly, not believing. The security guard is my brother. Mr. Luke Kwok Huan, at another booth, received a phone call. He was surprised. What? Then he replied, I know. I'll be right over here. Something happened on your uncle's side. Someone intentionally caused trouble with them. Duang Nin was a bit surprised. Your eldest uncle is not someone who likes to cause trouble like that. Today's competition will certainly be strictly guarded. How could this kind of thing happen? He stroked his chin and thought, maybe this wasn't that simple. Luke Kwok Huan thought it was reasonable. He suggested, let's go there and see, if someone intentionally targets us, I won't let them go, at some luxury hotel. In the presidential suite, a woman wearing a hotel pajama with golden eyes was furiously banging her hand on the table. Lam Manhuyan, I won't leave her alone. The man wearing glasses walked up from behind and asked, what do you want to do next? Golden Eyes heard the question and turned to speak with a hateful tone and expression. From the tone of his voice, it seems like you don't care much about this, right? I heard that you are her longest standing and most loyal pursuer, right? Wearing glasses, hearing that, he walked up behind her and hugged her slim waist and said sweet words. It's just a rumor, compared to you, she's nothing. Golden Eyes heard pleasant words and became less angry, but still said a few angry and spoiled words. Stop flattering, men only know how to use their mouths to deceive others. Wearing glasses in a place where the golden eyes cannot be seen shows a mysterious smile. Then what do you want me to do so that I can believe that you are sincere with me? Golden Eyes immediately made a request without hesitation. I also don't know how excessive my request is. I want to destroy Lam Manhuyan. I want to destroy Lam T. Furthermore, I want Lam T to perish because of her. Saying this, her eyes sparkled with unbridled cruelty. But even if the requirement is so difficult, wearing glasses still meets the requirements. It doesn't matter who said I like you so much. Golden Eyes immediately sought assurance from him. Remember what you said. The two of them stood in front of the hotel's ground-level window, hugging each other, trying to harm others without feeling worried. Golden Eyes cried out. Lee Nok Tu wearing glasses immediately responded to her. Of course, in another place two women walked in, both dressed very stylishly. A person with purple eyes that sparkled like emeralds. And one person has his hair in a half bun and is dressed in business attire. Both are beautiful and have their own beauty. One voice rang out. Manhuyan and Tu Tin arrived. Purple Eyes immediately asked. What happened? Duang Nin immediately introduced the two of them with his beard turned around. He pointed towards the person with the bun and started introducing himself. This person is the president of Lam Tu Tin. This person is. Without letting Duang Nin finish talking, the purple hair said. I'm Lam Manhuyan, hello sir. Beard turned his hat and asked in surprise. Do you know me? Lam Manhuyan bowed to show respect and explained with his beard turned around. I met you at my grandfather's 80th birthday party last year. After Lam Manhuyan explained, he turned his hat and recognized her identity and thought to himself. It turned out that the scholar Lam Win Lao was the little girl's grandfather, returning to the place where the fight occurred. Long Hair has arrived and is questioning the thugs. The long-haired, ferocious, questioning face made the other guy extremely confused. Quickly tell me who gave you the orders. The police standing next to you constantly advised. Mr. Luke, this is not Nanhu City. Please leave it to us to handle this matter. But the long hair seemed very angry at the police's arrangement. His face immediately darkened. I leave it to you to deal with. Okay. I want to see how you solve it. If you don't do it well and have to punish both Mr. Nin and Ms. Lam, I'm afraid today's appraisal contest will have to end. Longhair's words were filled with menace, making the three policemen scared. One guy didn't ask and thought about the identities of the two people mentioned by Longhair. The person Luke Kwok Huan calls him and her. What is their status? Mr. Lee is wondering about the identity of the girl and the man in front of him. Mr. Lee's colleague saw that this was not a good thing and immediately leaned in to say, Mr. Lee, stop messing around. It doesn't seem like you're a good person. Following his colleague's advice, Mr. Lee decided not to resolve this matter. He raised his hand and said frankly, let's go, the purple-haired man begged. Mr. Lee, don't go. The police officer immediately questioned the purple-haired man. Who ordered you to come and cause trouble with us? He trembled with fear and hesitantly replied that it was Principal Tran. It's Tran Thuong Du, the head of the party organizing today's competition. In the homeroom, the policeman walked in and pointed a gun straight at homeroom teacher Tran's head. He said, don't think I don't dare shoot. I have the right. Get it? Director Tran was manipulated at gunpoint pointed at his head. He was afraid and hesitantly replied, you're a police officer. Understood, I understand. Lu Guo Huan appeared and said, take him away. Director Tran was quickly subdued and taken to the police station. He looked worriedly at everyone. Chow Hok Ban panicked when he saw that the man was Director Tran. He immediately called his father and said, Dad, something seems to have happened. Duong Nin's uncle called out loudly. He placed his trust on his shoulders. He asked, what's going on? Just now, the loudspeaker said that Tran Thuong Du had been expelled. Duong Nin is still in a hurry about something. He quickly ended the conversation. Say, it's okay, boy. Don't pay attention to those people anymore. He immediately asked, is this what you want to erase the relationship? I left first and thought to myself, I'm already a day late, I have to hurry up. While on the road, a girl spoke from behind. Mr. Duong, what a coincidence. We met again. It turns out this girl is Ms. Lam, who met Duong Nin. She wanted to thank us for last time. She said happily, I still haven't had time to thank you for what happened last time. I didn't expect to meet each other in this place. Let's have a meal together. Duong Nin inherently has a lustful personality. He blushed and said, there's no need to thank me. Besides, I already told everyone that we'll go eat together. Ms. Lam looks very beautiful and hot. She winked, bowed, and gently said, it's okay. Invite everyone to come along to make it more fun. The more people there are, the more exciting it will be. Duong Nin's cheeks turned red. He agreed with Ms. Lam's decision. Hesitatingly answered, so, at the famous hotel. At the famous hotel, everyone was happily seated at the banquet table. Lam Manhuyan and Ms. Lam were standing next to her, chatting happily with Duong Nin. Duong Nin's younger sister saw many beautiful girls standing around her brother and immediately thought to herself, so hateful. At this moment, Duong Nin immediately opened his bag. I said, let everyone see the things you have chosen. He placed on the table sparkling golden antique vases. Everyone spoke up, asked, this is the antique you picked out. Someone praised it. It's very valuable, isn't it? Lam Manhuyan was full of praise. You are the best. Luke Kwok Huan raised the vases to look at them. Lam Manhuyan then commented that although it was indeed a good item, the age was a bit old, to dispel everyone's doubts. Duong Nin said, everyone, rest assured. Wait until the afternoon and you'll know right away. On the banquet table, food was lavishly served. People invite each other to eat. Come on, everyone, hurry up and eat. Seeing his beloved brother laugh and talk happily, Duong Nin's younger sister looked uncomfortable. Jealous of his brother, suddenly someone walked up to the banquet table. That person called out, Ah Nin. Duong Nin turned around and replied in surprise. Yes. An elder at the dining table with dark blue hair and a beard came forward and told Duong Nin to take Vivi for a walk. Duong Nin, with the mentality of an older brother, could not fully grasp the psychology of Vivi's educated daughter. Leaving the room full of people from his generation above discussing recent news, outside made him extremely comfortable. The atmosphere is airy with the sound of hot chip-chirp birds. The rays from the sun make the scene even more fresh. Vivi walked past Duong Nin, breaking the silence between the two and calling out to him. The girl asked what she had been wondering about. Why did he want to go to Hua school? Duong Nin suddenly let out an ah, facing Vivi's random question, which made him scratch his head in confusion to answer. There was no reason at all for such sudden behavior. Little Vivi was not too satisfied with his answer, but gently reminded him, do you know that because of your temporary impulsiveness, your father was so angry that he was completely broken? With your perfect score, why did you make a choice like this? Vivi was suspicious and asked if it was like what was reported in the newspaper. He was under edict. Duong Nin awkwardly waved his hand and said no. Do you think I look like that kind of person? Vivi playfully turned her head, showed an angry expression, and said an insincere statement that made her nose grow a few centimeters longer. And he could only stand behind the smell flowing down her face, resigned to her personality. Even though her words and gestures are so carefree, inside Vivi's mind, few people can understand her. She turned her gaze to him and thought for a moment. To her, he is not just a big brother but much more than that. Because of his intentions, she can change her whole path. Vivi hugged her arms shyly and looked down. The little girl seemed very sad and said that she secretly changed her wishes from her parents, that she wanted to go to Hua school. This is a big decision for her because her demanding father may not agree with this unruly decision. Duong Nin did not understand the situation and the feelings that the girl placed on him and innocently asked, oh, do your parents agree? Vivi puffed her cheeks and silently blamed her stupid brother, so what if he doesn't agree? I hid it from my parents. If they knew, they wouldn't agree. The little girl couldn't see anything from his expression to his movements, so she sadly said to him, you don't want me to come to Wahai? Duong Nin probably also discovered this girl's deep thoughts but was not comfortable saying it. If I dare to say no, I guarantee this kid will cry here. As soon as he thought about it, he pretended to be carefree and said how could he be like that, he couldn't even be happy anymore. Just one sentence from him can make Vivi happy like she's lost on the moon. Her eyes shine like starlight in the night. It felt like cherry blossoms were blooming all around her, as if her first love was being responded to positively. She happily asked again. Duong Nin, instead of giving an answer, he immediately gave reasons why he needed her by his side. You see, we go to the same school and someone makes breakfast for me early in the morning. Someone washes socks and clothes for me. The teenage girl was upset after hearing his answer. She angrily punched him straight in the stomach and scolded him for thinking of me as a maid. He was so unscrupulous. Just one blow during Vivi's emotional outburst caused a healthy Duong Nin to hold her stomach and sit in one place, her whole body trembling. At this point, Vivi realized that she seemed to have gone a bit too far. She approached him worriedly and asked if he was in much pain. Unlike normal, Duong Nin would smile and reply that it was okay to reassure her, but now he was still sitting with his back to Vivi and not making any sound. The little girl was worried that he would be angry with her, so she went to shake him. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. Different from what Vivi thought, Duong Nin just shook her head and smiled, showing her teeth ha ha ha, just to scare her, making Vivi feel both surprised and relieved. She walked over and gently hit his hand, shyly saying she hated him. Duong Nin only knows how to love and pamper the little sister in front of him. You're wrong, you're wrong. Can you invite me to dinner? The younger Vivi angrily turned around and walked away, not wanting to talk to him anymore, so Duong Nin had to go behind and comfort him. I invited you to eat and then go for a walk around the city to watch a movie. Vivi's cheeks turned red and she quietly asked if it was just the two of us. Duong Nin originally intended to tease her, so he scratched his chin and said if not, he would call for more. Vivi whined and interrupted, it was just the two of us. Duong Nin smiled and replied. On the street the two of them passed, there was an appraisal place surrounded by bustling people. At the table there is a very delicate-looking antique flower vase that has been carefully cared for by the owner, so even though it is an antique, it looks very new. The person who delivered that vase happily said I had passed. Then he happily went home. When a person came to do an assessment, when he saw it, he rushed forward and was very upset. Why can't mine be okay? This is an antique. The examiner at the desk seriously explained that exchanging items without symbols would not work, so he asked him to leave. In a corner, Luke Kwok Huan, who had been there for a long time, turned to ask Duong Nin if he had confidence in the boy who had just arrived. He confidently replied, "Don't worry." Having said that, he went straight to the examination table and met an examiner whose eyes were a bit absent-minded. He placed on the table a green stone with a dragon image surrounding it as if protecting the stone's core. The stone immediately attracted the attention of his acquaintances. Luke Kwok Huan asked why he looked so familiar. On one side, Elder Man also suspected that this was not the time for us to eat. The examiner immediately carried out the inspection and put the stone in a strange bowl of water that had been placed on the table. When the green stone touched the water surface, the whole water immediately turned green with sparkling lights on the surface of the water. Everyone looked intently at the green marble placed in the jar of water. The employee immediately announced that it was approved. Lam T was qualified to participate in the competition. The onlookers all gasped and said it was over. That kid even managed to get through the door. Lam T didn't invite the wrong person. Duong Kai V happily clapped his hands and said it's over. Luke Kwok Huan next to him said that this kid really always makes others feel secure. Having said that, the employee gave Duong Nin a card. This is the access card, please take it. Duong Nin responded with thanks. Then he turned back to ask Mr. Nin. Is Mr. Tran back yet? What did Mr. Nin say about Tran Lak? I haven't seen him anywhere. Hearing that, Duong Nin gave the ticket to Man Lao. Then say, Mr. Man, please take this access card. People walking around are constantly talking. Have you heard anything? Looks like someone is trying to sell it on how to join and fight. Can access cards also be passed from hand to hand? Or not? The antiques brought up are the appraisal objects. It is said that it is absolutely possible to advance straight to the semi-finals. If not, the goods will be returned and the money refunded. More than a dozen have been sold already. Buyers have approved it all. Nin Tai then still remained attentive and didn't say anything. Management doesn't take care of this. At first, he said he would take care of it, but then he lost his mind. Probably the other side is also someone with a background. At the restaurant, old man picked up a cup of hot tea. Frowning, he said I wondered why that kid was looking for so many cheap antiques. Probably to accomplish this, Nin Tai then smiled and said that the next wave will push the previous wave. It's impossible to not recognize it. Mr. Nin next to him also said that that brat was real. Duong Nin arrived just in time. He said, everyone's here. I'm done. Hearing that, Nin Tai then asked if it was all sold, seeing that everyone knows everything. Duong Nin scratched his head and smiled and said, hee, everyone knows. Night began to fall. The lights have also begun to turn on the roads, creating a beautiful scene. Tonight, Duong Kai Vi dressed very beautifully. She seemed to be waiting for someone. Suddenly, Tran Lak ran back and said I did as he said. Buy a few bottles of wine and cigarettes to give to Tu Lin. The rest of the money is all in here. Duong Nin immediately took out the bank card and gave him 880,000. Tran Lak said so much, yes, this is what you want. After saying that, he gave Duong Nin a small and beautiful box. Duong Nin received it and responded with a word of thanks. After that, he immediately ran to Duong Kai Vi and called VV. I'm here. When his teacher arrived at Duong Kai Vi, he complained why he had only come now. I waited until my legs were numb. Duong Nin asked if he had thought about where he wanted to go or not. Duong Kai Vi did not answer but said that you should talk. A bus in the distance is approaching. Duong Nin immediately pointed at the car. Then say we should sit on the Hua Hai tourist bus. Duong Kai Vi crossed her arms over her chest, feeling discouraged and said that was all. Glue thing. Duong Nin smiled and said that if we spent 4 yuan to travel around this place, we would be exaggerating. Without saying anything more, Duong Kai Vi immediately got on the bus. When she walked in and looked around, she wondered, hey, why is there no one? Duong Nin immediately said to go up. It would be more comfortable to sit up there. Everywhere on the street there were romantic night lights. Duong Kai-vi sat and looked around, exclaiming that the night in Wahai was so beautiful. Duong Nin replied yes. Duong Kai-vi turned and said even though family members always blamed him for enrolling in a university so far away. But I think Wahai is also very good. Duong Nin looked at her and said it was good that she liked this place. Duong Kai-vi kept talking and remembered. Don't you think it's strange, this car has no other passengers besides the two of us? That's not true. It should be said that this bus has never stopped at any stop. Brother, is there something wrong? We've encountered a bad person. Duong Nin helplessly said you're thinking too much. Duong Kai-vi worriedly stood up and picked up the phone. She said no, this car's route was also incorrect. Seeing her like that, Duong Nin asked her what she wanted to do. Duong Kai-vi firmly said she wanted to call the police. Duong Nin immediately grabbed her phone and said no. He immediately explained everything to her. That's it, I won't tease you anymore. To be honest, I asked Tran Lak to cover this whole car. Hearing that, Duong Kai-vi turned around and asked, why? Duong Nin replied that this car was included to take her on a trip. Don't you find it romantic? Duong Kai-vi hesitated but said, why are you special? Duong Nin continued to answer because today is a special day. Today is my birthday. After speaking, he immediately handed over the gift box that Tran Lak had asked him to buy for him. Duong Kai-vi was surprised and said it was my birthday, but it was my birthday. Before she finished speaking, Duong Nin immediately said that your lunar birthday is today. Adults always like to use the solar calendar to calculate birthdays. But I looked at your ID card before and knew it was your birthday. What's your lunar date? Happy birthday to you. Duong Kai-vi secretly thought before, it's been a few years since he's been home, so that means he's seen it since he was a child. He's remembered his birthday since he was a child. Duong Nin spoke, interrupting her thoughts. Open it and take a look. Duong Kai-vi immediately opened it and she let out a loud scream. The main gift is a transmission line attached to an antique item. Duong Nin asked if he liked it. Duong Kai-vi happily said he liked it. It's so beautiful, thank you, maybe, can you help me wear it? Without hesitation, Duong Nin immediately said yes. He slowly put the necklace on Duong Kai-vi's neck. Their faces were close together. Duong Kai-vi blushed and kissed him on the lips. Then she quickly stood up, avoiding saying thank you to him. I went over there to admire the night scene, and then she stood there with her face full of red. As for Duong Nin, he was extremely confused. His hand touched his lips, thinking about what had just happened. Was it due to not being careful? Nam Chao Bak Yen, in a building, a voice rang out. The 49th Antique Appraisal Competition begins. Invite the players entering the semi-final round. The supervisor read the notice and exclaimed that he really didn't expect that there would be 84 people in this contest. A young man passing by heard that and immediately said that it was because the kid who sold the right to participate in the competition had sold out, so the number of people in the semifinals was twice as many as last year. Duong Nin entered the competition, and at this time the atmosphere there was very bustling. Suddenly he heard a voice. I heard that you were the person Lam sent to take the exam this time, right? GM asked a question. Which direction is the teacher from? The person who spoke was Mr. Chow Wiem. When Duong Nin heard the question, he made up a story about what the teacher taught. Well, in the past I studied with a few teachers. The longest I have taught is 2 years. Mr. Chow Wiem also believes that. Then he turned back and looked, then said, did you see those areas? The previous exam questions asked him to evaluate these antiques. Assess the age and background. The more specific the details, the higher the score. Many people rush to memorize these items from now on, hoping to get the highest score, in as little time as possible. The more antiques you can appraise, the more chances you have of entering the next round. Hearing this useful information, Duong Nin immediately thanked him for his teachings. Haven't asked him yet, someone outside heard him ask such a question. This person is Nam Chao Bak Yen. Master Chow Wiem is known as the Golden Weight. Teacher Chow Wiem immediately waved his hand and said that his friends in the world were just praising him too much. Shouldn't be considered real. Master Chow Viem's fans immediately came. Teacher Chow is too humble, everyone knows. You have a great chance of winning the laurel wreath. Teacher Chow.